Hey everybody, how's it going? Let me start by apologizing for how late this is. I really did mean to get this out earlier, but just like I said on the last news video, I could not get myself to get this going, so that's why this is so late. I know part of the missions have already come and gone, but hopefully for those of you, if you're still interested, maybe wondering if you still want to do more gachaing, do you want to chase after anybody, or if you're still curious about how the strike shots work. Well, let's go over that right now. In the collab rundown for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind, this is volume 3 of the JoJo collab in the world of Monster Strike. It will be active until February 2nd, until it'll go away for maybe a 4th appearance. Who knows? Let's take a look at the details for the collab. So first, of course, the gacha monsters. We have volume 3 visible here, and the key winners for this, or not winners, but the 6-star monsters is Giorno Giovanna, Bruno Bucciarti, and Guido Mista. There are your 6-star monsters, and then you have Naranzia, Girga, and Leone Abbaccio as your 5-star monsters. And of course, because I am so late to the party, the rate ups are active. So if you want any of those 6-star monsters, wait a few days before they rotate in, or just pull anyway. It's perfectly fine. All right. I've lost my. There we go. Now let's start with the gacha monsters. Let's talk about Giorno Giovanna here with the 9-point rating already on game with speed power up, heals touch friendlies HP, and heals their status effects, including the chicken state. And then we'll do a special attack to the first hit enemy after done moving. And apparently there is a hidden bonus with Giorno Giovanna's strike shot, is that after all the strike shot festivities is done, he will create a item after it finishes as well, which I guess is a nice bonus. Take a look at the bonus, the stats here for the buff. 1.4x for the attack, 8x for the speed on the first gear. That goes up to 1.6 and 15x on the second. The amount of healing you get by touching a monster, which is one time each, you can't repeat it over and over, but you will get 15,000 healed on the first gear, and that bumps to 25,000 on the second gear, which is a pretty good amount. Now the follow-up attack on the first gear, you get 0.5 the attack stat 24 times, as well as a follow-up attack of 15% of the max HP, with a guaranteed minimum of 1.5 million damage. For the second gear, that is a 0.9 times the attack stat with 24 hits still, and that will also do 25% of the max HP afterwards, with a guaranteed minimum of 2.5 million damage. So pretty solid here, and of course he will have a place to shine in Birimisk, which probably is the reason why it's so high. High difficulty quest, pretty good usability there. You know, Reizetsu shining monsters are generally going to get high ratings from Game Week. So there you go. Giorno Giovanna, probably the monster you want to chase as per Game Week's rankings. Next up, Bruno Bucciarti, not too bad, 8.5 rating. Speed power up, hits enemies. Hit enemies. Oh yeah, the enemies you hit, right, get defense down for a set amount of turns, and then a special attack after done moving, which does guarantee to target the boss, and throughout the animation it will guarantee to hit the weak point no matter where it actually is. Self buff is a 35% boost to the attack and 8x for the speed, and then 60% attack to the boost to the attack with 12x speed bonus there. The defense down will inflict 10% more damage than usual for 5 counts on the first gear, and 20% more than usual for 9 counts in the second gear. And it is important to note that the counts, how this works from how Potato on Twitter, if you don't know, make sure you follow him. Great guy, getting all these details summarized for us. A count is basically if either you or the enemy makes an attack, it goes 1 forward. So essentially it's what is it, 4, like, because it does count after the turn you use it as well. So just something to keep in mind. And the follow-up, you'll get 25% of your attack for 24 times, followed by a final blow that does 7 extra attack stat. And then the second gear, it's 30% of your attack stat 24 times with a 12.5x on your attack stat. And for Bruno here, we've got Gardens 3 and the Shinen Fire, right? The depths at the end of the abyss. The fire stage will be where you can use Bruno there, which I could use because I still have not, I don't think I've still bothered to try and clear the fire version, so I should get on that. And last but not least, we have Guido Mista 8.0 rating on game with speed power up and reveals and increases effectiveness of all weak points of hit enemies for a set amount of turns, and the special attack to the first hit enemy after done moving. First gear, 30% attack boost with 8x speed. Second gear is 80% attack boost with 12x speed. Weak point damage, you will do 25% more damage than usual, and that will last for 2 turns, right? Back and forth. Second gear, that goes up to 50% bonus for 3 turns, so pretty nice there. And the follow-up, you'll do indirect damage for 10x your attack stat, followed by 15% max HP damage with a guaranteed minimum of 1.5 mil. Second gear, it's a 15x of your attack stat with 20% of your max HP, following up afterwards with a minimum of 2.0 million. Now, it is interesting to note for Guido's strike shot here, it does specify, at least on GameWit, that the percentage damage is half as usual to non-boss targets, but they didn't have that warning for Giorno here. So I don't know if they just left it off or it's actually different, but that seems to be the case, at least from what I see on GameWit. And of course, notable stages, Castle 8, the original set of castle stages, is where Guido can shine there. Now for the 4 and 5 star monsters, they did give Norancia a 8.0, which does mean you should consider making sure you get at least a copy of him, maybe a candidate to get to 75 luck, which pushes it to 90. But that's up to you to do, and absolutely never necessary. But Leone, a reasonable 7.0 for him. And of course, there is a paid pack monster. We got Panna Cotta Fugo available for 1,000 yen. He has an 8.0 rating, which is on the higher side for paid pack monsters. So it is maybe something you want to look at. I do think that the strike shot is really nice. That follow-up attack that he gets does do some decent percentage damage there. But of course, there is a downside that if your friendly units are nearby Panna Cotta at the end, they will also get poisoned as well. The poison just does 1,000 damage for 4 turns, but something you might want to take care of just in case. And Panna Cotta will be good for Castle 9. And of course, don't forget that the gachas for Volume 1 and 2 are also available. Each gacha, of course, has a higher chance to drop its 3 featured 6-star monsters. Other volumes can also spit out the other characters as well, but do keep in mind that the older gachas do not have individual rate ups, so you cannot wait for a specific monster in Volume 1 and 2. That is reserved for Volume 3 only. And of course, we'll talk about, the big prize of the gacha overall is probably Kujo Jotaro SC here. And if you're actually looking for the older ones, he's probably the only one that you want to chase. Very strong. It's a bash special attack to the first hit enemy and delays all hit, and not all hit enemies, just all enemies, period. Now, one big change that is here with Kujo Jotaro SC is that special attack is now 1 hit rather than 25 hits, right? And of course, the 25 hits is a little bit more iconic, I feel like, but they did change it to be only 1 single hit now. One possible benefit to that is that 1 hit now takes advantage of Super Minesweeper L. So if you have 4 mines on there, you'll get that bonus, and that will last for the rest of the strike shot, I believe. But I think the multiplier with Super Minesweeper L maximized it just lines up with how it was before, so it might actually be a nerf in some senses, because you're not always going to have 4 mines ready to go. I don't know. No self buff here, but the follow-up attack is direct damage. It will do that bash attack and do 1.75 the attack stat, followed by 21% damage to the enemy with a guaranteed minimum of 1.5. That is a 1% boost from the original version. And the second gear, it goes up to 3.5x the attack stat, which is pretty nice. And the percentage is again 1% boost to 32% with a guaranteed minimum of 2.0 million. Now the delay is completely new for Kujo Jotaro, so that's a great bonus. 1 turn on the first gear, 2 turns on the second. And where you can use Kujo Jotaro SC, Abupisha in the Reizetsu level, and Shinen Fire is also usable for him. So there you go, Kujo Jotaro SC. Next up, we've got Noriaki Kakyoin with an 8.5 rating. Speed power special attack to the first hit enemy after done moving. Now there is a warning here on Game With, and the video they have does show this happening. If your final position is a bit far away from the actual boss, it's kind of like a cone in terms of how Noriaki attacks, and so if it spreads too far, there is a chance that some of those bullets will just miss your target in the end. So it does say 20% there, 40% on the second gear, but if you're too far away, it can actually be a little bit less than that due to just those shots missing, which is kind of oh, and actually those percentages should not be there. That is left over from my template from you know, wherever I copied it from, so that actually should not be there. So I will have to make a fix for that on the Discord channel. Where you can use Noriaki Kakyoin is Harekogmi. Gozetsu stage is available for him. And let's move on to the next slide, which of course I lost because I fixed. There we go. Polnareff, I cut out his first middle name just because it ended up long, so sorry about that. He also has an 8.5 rating, which is nice. Speed, power up, and moves around with Silver Chariot, and a special attack after done moving. That special attack is guaranteed to hit the boss, and the final hit of the special attack is guaranteed to hit the weak point regardless of where he is. Self buff is 50% and 8x speed. Second gear 80% with 12x speed. The clone that he makes, right, the Silver Chariot, will do base damage on the first gear and get a 20% buff on the second gear. And then the follow-up, the bash attack is basically 9% of your attack stat 30 times, and right, it's a bash, so it's just like bah, 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 bah. Second gear, that goes up to 16% 3 times. And then the final follow-up is a direct damage attack, 4.84 times the attack stat. Second gear, it goes up to 9x. And for Polnareff, Embezzler is where you can see some love for him. So try it out. So to summarize, now of course the volume 1 didn't get any love, so they are going to be a little bit on the lower side, but here's a summary of Game Width's ratings for all the characters. As you can see, pretty strong overall for volume 2 and 3. Volume 1, understandably, a little bit on the lower side. They're just, you know, a bit old and outdated, but, you know, make sure you don't miss out on getting those 8.0 5-star characters. I know we've used Mohammed Avdol pretty nicely along, so that's an important thing to see. And like I said, for the paid pack, Panna Koto Fugo is on the slightly higher side. So if it is something that you're considering on the fence about, you know, maybe that'll push you up. But speaking of the old packs, you can purchase Iggy and Joestar Family again if you want, but again, they are at a 6.5 rating, which is, you know, par for the course for these paid packs. So probably not something that you really need unless you really love the collab, which, hey, that's important too. Hopefully by now you are used to all of the events. You got the 4 5-star monsters that are available at all times, as well as the direct drop quest. I have missed probably, I think I'm only at like 30 something luck so far, so I keep forgetting to do the direct drop quest. No max luck needed, 7 drops each day, that's why you don't want to forget, and a higher chance to get 3 drops when you're playing co-op. And of course you've got the Ghiaccio and the Melone as your scheduled 5 6-star quests. The first Chokyukyoku quest features Risotto Nero here. I have actually only played enough to get the mission clear, I think. But all monsters get 99 luck, so you don't need to bring max luck monsters. So just farm away for him and finish it. But of course today, and I do have this in a little yellowy, it's a lot more not, thought it was a little bit more appealing to the eyes than the first time, but a little bit too late for that. But anything you see in this yellow is all new with the latest news. So Chikolata and Seko is our second Chokyu Kyoku quest. This is a farmable type, but it is 5 drops each clear. No max no max luck needed because it's a direct drop style quest. But yeah, you'll see how interesting that goes. Anyways, Guardian Beast. Don't forget there is a new Guardian Beast available called Gold Experience. As usual, 2 difficulties available, 200 shards per difficulty, but you do need 500 shards to max level these Guardian Beasts, so you'll need to steal 100 from somewhere else. Maybe there will be a way next week to get fragments to make up that difference, but doesn't always happen. But what is important is that 2x drops compared to normal rates, which is it's abysmal if you don't play it during the club. So please make sure you don't forget about this. Also, do note that you do not get the advantage of Monster Strike Day on these quests, so you should do this outside of Monster Strike Day. Because there will be plenty of people who misinterpret that this is going to have max luck and come in with non-max luck monsters and make your farming life a little bit harder. Also, to make it go faster, use a Fuerte Biscuits. I do that all the time. Just get it done, please. Please, it's a pain. Now, if you forgot what Gold Experience does, there is a 10% chance to upgrade an item by 1 level and also heal your team up to 50% to the 50% level. Get it to level 10 and that 10% turns into 99%, and the amount of you heal goes up to the 80% mark of your gauge. So that's pretty cool. And the requirements: only get 3 items. Shouldn't be too bad in general. Now, of course, if you missed out the first time, you do have the revival quest for Star Platinum and Stone Free. However, do note that you do not get 2x drops on them, so you will have to suffer to do them. You are allowed to use Fuerte Biscuits, however, so use that to try and make your life easier, but if you need to do it, good luck. Also, do note that progress from your previous runs carry over from the first volume, second volume, so if you already finished it, there's no incentive to do anything. Your progress is saved and will lock you out from doing anymore. Now, the missions, they are available. The first set is all unlocked by now, so you can finish them. And unfortunately, the daily clear missions for the first part is going to be over. Maybe the last day is still available here. I apologize for not having this up. Like, you could have easily missed out on this because I didn't explain it to you. I am sorry. But a new set of 6 missions are coming. It will follow the same scheme where it will unlock once per day and also give you the opportunity to get a reward for clearing a mission on each of the first 6 days. Will get you a bonus reward. And so that you don't miss out on the translations, please use this QR code to jump to the Discord channel where you can get them. There's a dedicated channel to get those translations, so join us there. And if you still need to catch up, you can still play the first set of missions. Here are the missions if you need them. I also use this, put this up on Twitter, so that's why I have the QR code again. Yeah, if you haven't missed out on them, or if you haven't finished them quite yet, now's your chance to do that. For the first set of missions, there's your rewards, right? You have those alternate strike shot voice sets there, and you got 17 copies of Una each there, Una, which is nice. For the second set of missions, you'll get these good job stamps as well as the coveted connect skill scroll, along with the striker's card, which I'm surprised. I said it yesterday. I was surprised to see. A badge and a title, and of course you are going to be collecting the Chocolata and Seko drops there, and you'll get 12 copies of him through the daily clear missions. So even more reason to make sure you don't forget to clear that quest once a day, because if you miss out, you're going to basically have to make up 2.4 runs on your own to make up for the lost day reward. So don't miss out on that. Yeah, so just a closer look at the rewards there. Oh, did I put the same? Yeah, I put the same slide twice. Yeah, and so here you go. There is the Chicolata and Seca reward scheme. I had that on the news slide as well. So in case you missed out, here it is again. But you just need to do all 6 missions on the day they unlock so that you can get to max luck the fastest. There's a way to catch up by just clearing the quest over and over again. We'll have to see how hard it actually is or not. But okay, final phase, right? Here's our login rewards. Hopefully you got them already. You haven't missed out on that. The characters that you see here are max luck for the duration of the collab. And if you want them to be max luck until the end of time, make sure you get them to max luck, actually. And that's it. So yeah, again, apologies for this being late. I will try to make sure I am on top of these things going forward. Hopefully, for me, being outside of the loop for the anime scene, it's definitely hard to get excited for all this. Not to slander JoJo at all, but in the years past we had some like nice surprises with like the older stuff or Disney, Star Wars. If we can get some like interesting stuff like that, that would be pretty cool. But I do see the value of just all these animes coming in. It's obviously the bread and butter for what the Japanese thrive on. So gotta cater to your audience, but hopefully they get some nice surprise twists coming. That'll be pretty awesome. Or just some old classics that I've loved, with like the Final Fantasies, the Sailor Moons, some of the older monsters that could use some love. That would be exciting too. Anyways, again, apologies for the lateness. Tomorrow you'll be able to see my gacha video, which I will be taking shortly. I have not done any of the gachas as well, and I'm not even sure who the rate up is right now, but we'll take a look when I do that video. So enjoy that coming. It will be tomorrow, assuming the timing I don't screw up on YouTube. So to make sure you don't miss out on that, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. And leave a comment below. I need to catch up on the comments too, so I apologize for that. ENGmonster on Twitter/X. Get the latest news from me in English at any time. And of course, the Discord channel, link to the server is in the description below. That's it for me today. Thank you for watching. Until next time. Bye bye.